Hello everyone. My name is Aklilutas Faldet, and this video is about chapter 3, worksheet chapter 3 about belief, value, and cultural universals. And question number 1. The examples provided above illustrates the idea of beliefs, values, and cultural universals about culture. Give your own example that are related to the same topic. Okay. My belief example is I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the Savior of humanity. And values of example, I value love, forgiveness, and humanity as taught by Christ. And cultural universal example, prayers and worship are central practice in our faith. Okay, session 2. Sometimes our viewpoint, the question is, sometimes our viewpoint come from cultural norms that we learn from our cultural background and experience, and other times they came from our own personal experience and opinions. Discuss your viewpoint related to each of the 6 dimensions described about Hofstede model of national cultural and explain from your own think your viewpoint originated. Okay, the first one about power distance, and my viewpoint is I believe that at some level of hierarchy and respect for authority is necessary in society and workplaces, and this my viewpoint comes from my background where respecting elders and leaders is highly valued. And second one, individualism and collectivism. My viewpoint about it, I lean more toward collectivism. I value community and family and often put group needs before my own. And this viewpoint comes strongly from my culture, which emphasizes family and community bonds. And third one, masculinity and femininity. My viewpoint is I appreciate both masculine and feminine. I personally value being caring and collaborative. And my viewpoint comes from personal preferences influenced by my upbringing, personal values. Also my culture values respect and kindness. And the fourth one, indulgence and restraint. My viewpoint about this, I believe in enjoying life and pursuing happiness, but within reasonable limit. I think balance is important. And this my viewpoint comes from a mix of cultural norms that emphasize discipline and personal experience, where I have learned the importance of balance between fun and responsibility. And the fifth one, uncertainty, avoidance. My viewpoint is I don't feel comfortable with uncertainty. I like to plan ahead, but also try to stay open to new experiences. And this viewpoint comes from personal preferences shaped by my experience. I grow up in a culture that values traditional and stability. The sixth one, long-term and short-term orientation. My viewpoint about it, I lean to value long-term planning and respecting traditions, but I also open to innovation, and new ideas. And my viewpoint, this comes from combination of cultural values that honor heritage and personal preferences towards progress and change. And session 3, question number 1. Give an example of time when you used communication convergence and a time when you use it to communicate divergence, and explain why you think you choose to communicate in that way. Example of a time when you use it communicating convergence, and my answer is once I was working in a workplace with my coworkers from a different country who speaks a different languages. What did you do? How you change your communication style? I start to speak in their language in order to match their communication style and make them feel more comfortable. Why you choose to communicate that way? I choose to converge because I want to connect with them, show respect for their culture, and create comfortable conversation for collaboration. It helped break down barriers and made communication more effective. And the other thing, example of time when you use it communicating divergence. At the same place with my coworkers from different country who speaks a different language. What did you do? How you change your communication style? I try to speak my native language around them to maintain my culture and identity, show them that I am different. Why you choose to communicate that way? I choose to diverge because I want to show my identity and communicate in the way that I feel authentic to me. Section 4. Question number 1. Give an example of a recent conflict, disagreement you had with someone else and describe how well or how poor you think you prevent that person from feeling ashamed about the situation. How might your cultural background have influenced you communicate in the situation? And my answer, at the work with my coworker, we are responsible for working together. I noticed that he made several mistakes at work and it was going to affect me, so I pointed it out during team meeting by saying he made a mistake. I corrected him in front of the whole team, which made him look a bad worker and probably feel ashamed. I didn't do a good job. My background influenced me by high respecting for truth, honesty, and group success. So I thought it was important to correct the mistake quickly. And session number 5 is important to study intercultural communication. Okay, choose one of the 4 above list reasons for studying intercultural communication. Explain how something specific from this culture helps you to accomplish that goal. One reason to study intercultural communication is because culture is always changing. For instance, when people move to a new place or interact with people outside their own culture, they often begin to start changing how they speak, dress, or act to fit in better. Over time, this creates a small shift in the culture itself. By understanding that culture is not fixed, and learning this makes me more adaptable and respectful in diverse settings. And thank you.